welcome, and thank you for being here. My name is Nadine, and today I felt like I needed to make this video because it just kept coming to me lately. Today we're going to talk about anxiety because about this time 4 years ago is when I really started I don't want to say my journey with anxiety, but when I was actually diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. Now, I honestly think I had anxiety like my whole life. Just thinking back to really stupid things as a kid or a teenager, and I'm pretty sure like it existed back in those times. But as long as my neighbor is done revving his truck, I think we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share with you 10, I guess, tips or things for dealing with anxiety. Now, this is more geared towards people who actually have severe anxiety. I will say, disclaimer, I am not a medical doctor, I'm not a psychologist, and trigger warning, we are talking about mental illness in this video, so just putting that out there. And again, I just wanted to be open about what I went through experiencing anxiety and give you my testimony and what worked for me and how I got through it. So here we go. And also, I still do experience anxiety, even though it's not as bad as it used to be. We all experience anxiety. Every person on this planet probably has experienced it at one point or another, but there are some people where it's just completely out of control. And the first thing that I suggest is, if you are someone experiencing it, don't be in denial. It's easy to be like, oh my God, there's like, I can't have anxiety like this. No, I gotta be strong. I gotta just, everybody gets overwhelmed. It's okay. You can admit, like, I'm dealing with something right now and it's not okay right now. The second thing, know that it's okay to get help. And it's very important, if you have someone in your circle or like a family member, a friend, somebody that you can open up to and be honest with about what you're dealing with. It's so helpful, and I give so much gratitude to my mom, who also experiences anxiety and has dealt with panic disorder as well. And she's still my rock, but she was my freaking foundation back then, because she knew what I was going through and knew how to like guide me along. So it's very important to have somebody. Just because you're dealing with anxiety doesn't mean you're weak, okay? People be like, well, I can't handle it, I'm not a strong person. Like, no. And what's that saying? Like, sometimes it's like we're so strong that something like that. Like, we get tired of being strong, or I don't know. It's something along those lines. I'm not good at quotes, but you know what I'm saying. Just because you're having it does not mean you're not a strong person. Point blank, okay? And for me, it's so important, I think, to find ways to cope with it. Things that I do and have done: meditation, breath work, breathing. Deep breathing is so important. And I can do a video on that at another time, like some deep breathing exercises. Journaling it down, write out how you're feeling. Again, as I mentioned, talking to somebody. And, that could be also going to therapy. I mean, if you can afford it, I know sometimes it's expensive, but there are like apps and like online things that you can now do to get therapy, and it's like not super crazy expensive. Personally, I never did therapy. I didn't have to go that route, but I'll get into like what I did. But I think talking just to my mom was always therapy for me. There's different like exercises and stuff that you can do for anxiety, like name 5 things in the room, or 3 things you can touch, and 3 things that you see, or something like that. So just keep those in mind. The internet is a vast resource of things out there. Pinterest, I mean, there's websites that you can find that will tell you like different things that you can do when you're experiencing anxiety, or if you have like a fidgety thing that you could use. There's so many things out there this day and age. The next segue here, this kind of goes into the point that I was just talking about. Now, I exhausted all my resources. I would meditate, I would do different things, and it would take the anxiety away temporarily. And I got to a point where I just was like, it was so bad that it was very debilitating. And that's one thing, if you are somebody that deals with severe anxiety, it's hard to get through your day. Like, you're literally crippled by the anxiety, frozen, and you're just like, what do I do? And if you were like me, I was like physically sick, and I'll get more into that too. But the next thing is, it is okay to take medication. Let me say that again. It is okay to take medication. I've been prescribed it's very, very low dose. But I was always somebody that was like, I don't need medication. Like, I don't want to depend on it. No. Don't be that person. If you have exhausted all your resources like I did, and you need something to help you get through the day, to help you function, it is okay to get medication. It's not something that maybe you don't need long term. I wasn't on it for very long. I think I went through maybe one bottle, and it might have been like a 30-day supply. And after that, I think I still have a bottle in my cabinet that's like, it expired like 2 years ago. But sometimes if I'm really struggling with anxiety, or I don't want to use the word struggle, if I'm really experiencing like intense anxiety, I will take one. I don't know if it does anything, but we can go with the placebo effect, because that's probably what it did anyway. Again, I'm not a psychologist, but you know. All right, so yes, don't be afraid to go to your doctor. Well, I don't know. Luckily, my family doctor was able to prescribe it to me, so I don't know how that works. But if you could talk to your doctor or like a psychiatrist or something, like, definitely don't be ashamed to ask for that help. It's totally okay. And the next thing is, be gentle with yourself. Like, it's okay to not be okay. That's the cliche saying, but it's true. Don't beat yourself up and be like, there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just handled a lot, and you're going through a lot, and it's just taking a toll on you mentally, emotionally, maybe physically. So don't beat yourself up about it. Figure out a way. Like I mentioned, the coping ways, maybe getting a medication to help you get through your day, and go from there. It's going to be all right. You don't have to like make it the end of the world, because it's not the end of the world. It may feel like it when you're in the middle of an anxiety attack, but know that it's going to pass. Our next thing, don't let others invalidate you. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say that other people have told them, like, oh, don't think about it, or, oh, you're strong, you can do this. Like, just don't be that person. If you don't understand anxiety, you've never gone through it, don't try to give people advice who are experiencing anxiety. Just be like, look, I'm sorry you're going through this. Like, I hope you get help, or like if there's anything I do for you. Don't listen to people who like want to invalidate your feelings and what you're going through, because that just doesn't help, and it just makes it a lot worse. I know personally, I was told to leave my personal problems at home. The short of it is, I was going through a lot, and it was affecting me physically. It was interfering with my day-to-day life and affecting things majorly. And I was told by a person to like leave my personal stuff at home. And I was like, yeah, let me take it out of my pocket and leave it on the table. And then when I come home from, my day or whatever, when I come home from this thing, I will just get back to it. Sure, I'll put a pin in that anxiety attack. So yeah, I mean, I could go on and on, but I'll just leave it at that. Don't let other people tell you to get over it or whatever they have to say. Anxiety does kind of really teach you boundaries. Anxiety sucks, but it's okay to say no. And you have to understand that your mental health is so much more important than the event or the thing that you have to go to. I mean, I get it. People get bummed out, but if there's somebody that truly love and care about you, they're going to be like, oh, I get it. Like, you just need some time. That's fine. We'll do this another time. Like, it's no big deal. Stuff happens. I've had things that I wanted to go to, like functions, events, and boom, anxiety. And I was just like, I couldn't do it. I'm like, I was totally prepared. And then all of a sudden I had really bad anxiety, and I couldn't. It's okay to say no. It's okay to tell people, look, I can't do this thing. You'd rather stay home and cope with the anxiety than put yourself in that situation, which potentially could make other people like really uncomfortable. Not saying it's about them, But you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know how to react around it sometimes, and then they're like, oh, what's going on? It's better just stay at home and, do what you have to do to get through that episode that you're having. This kind of ties into what I mentioned earlier about like managing it, but I also kind of have a side note, like how to channel it. For me, the most important thing that I can do to channel my anxiety is through movement. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. Yoga, dancing is definitely a good one. If you're somebody that loves music, putting some like uplifting music on, or like if you write music, if you can like, play an instrument. I know I like to drum and stuff like that. And yeah, there's so many avenues. You could draw, do art, the possibilities are endless. So again, channeling your anxiety, and anxiety can honestly be a really good motivator. Like, one of my things is if people are coming over to the house and I'm like, oh my God, I have to clean my house. Like, there's people coming over, like, and I'm one of those people, like, I don't like people in my house if it's not clean. So that can be a motivator. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta get this, I gotta do this. Like, I have to make this thing happen. Just find something, an avenue that you can put into that takes you and puts you more in the present moment, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that kind of ties back into what I mentioned earlier about like the meditation. And so those two could be kind of the same. Another point is to make sure you're taking care of yourself. I know when I was going through my anxiety, I was barely eating. That's probably why I lost like 40 pounds. But make sure you're getting sleep at night. Make sure you're drinking water. Try to get some exercise, get some sunlight. Like, just do things that feel good. Be around, if you have pets, like your pets love you. They want to help you. I know my dog, she's right here right now. My cats. Be in a healthy space where that's physically, mentally, emotionally. So try to get yourself, make a routine for yourself, even if you have to write things down, like what you have to do for the day. Like, I'm going to drink, 3 bottles of water. I'm going to meditate for 5-10 minutes. I'm going to move my body. Like, try to find those healthy things that you can do to make sure you're well all around. The last thing is, you are not your anxiety. Point blank, you are not your anxiety. You are a person who has experienced anxiety, but you are not it. And that is something so important. Remember, it's just a bump in the road. We all hit those bumps in the road, and it's okay to be at this point in your life and know that it's a struggle. But at the end of the day, you're going to get to the other side of it and be like, man, that was tough, but I did it. And you'll be able to help other people cope with it as well. And I know that your feelings matter and that it's going to be okay. Anxiety is a serious thing. It can cause so many other problems in your life besides just the emotional stuff, and it really takes a toll on you. If you are really going through a tough time with it, definitely reach out. Even if you even want to talk to me about it, leave a comment below, or my email's down below, but I don't know how that works, if it'll go to spam. But definitely, even if you do, just leave a comment and be like, hey, I emailed you or something. We got to normalize it and be like, it's okay to get help for it. It's okay to take medicine for it. It's okay to do all these things. We're human beings. We're having this happen to us. And again, I don't know the science behind it. It's something with chemicals in the brain or whatever, but just know, if you're going through a lot, it's okay to just take a step back and do what you need to address your mental health. That is so important. And I know once I started taking back my life, and, the first step I did, I got the medication. After everything, didn't really help me, I got the medication, and that actually created a space for me to get through every day. And then I didn't have to rely on the medication anymore. I was okay because I was able to work through the things and address the things that were going on underneath everything, if that makes sense. And then once I did that, I didn't really need the medication anymore. Don't feel bad, don't feel ashamed. I just wanted to share that with you because I feel like even if there's just one person that can take something from that and learn and be able to cope with what they're going through, I hope that it helps you. And I know there's nothing anybody can ever say when you're in the thick of it, because it just feels like it's the end of the world and it just nothing is helping. But trust me, It's gonna pass. Even though this time is awful right now for you, you're gonna get through it. I got through it, and the other side of it is so amazing. So just keep pushing through. Do what you gotta do to take care of yourself, and you will get to the other side. And again, if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see anything like more videos like this, please, your feedback is so important. Just let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you want to see more videos like this, or spiritual or mental health, whatever, lifestyle, you know, join the family, subscribe. I just want to thank you all for being here, for watching this video. I hope you took something from it, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. All right.